Holy moly. Time, it's 10:40, 27th 4th, 2021. Bit late in the evening. Greetings. Just thought I'd come on anyway. I just finished doing a bit of a talk in front of some people, and it kind of occurred to me. I realised that I've taken a few things for granted, and that's a bit of a presumption on my part, where that's to previously assume, which is even worse than assumption. Assumption being an ass of you and me, but if you plan it, it's a presumption and a pre-assume. Anyway, I've been taking it for granted that people understand common law and how basic and simple it is. Unfortunately, it's not so much the case. G'day Michelle, how you doing? Nice to see you here. It's late in the evening. Just got back from a talk, and just explaining how I've taken it for granted that people understand this stuff. I guess I've been so immersed in it for years that I kind of become complacent in that view. And actually do, before I go on any further, I'll just give you that one there, caveat emptor, always at the start of my videos, or corderos, or talks. I like to just give you this piece of information. It's caveat emptor, buyer beware. As the Romans put it, let those that be deceived be deceived. So take everything with a grain of salt. This is just entertainment, entering to attain your mind. But yes, I kind of took it for granted a wee bit that people understood what common law is and how simple it is, folks. You see, common law, it comes from your Bible. I mean, there's all sorts of different Bibles out there, but it comes from your Bible. It's common law. Do unto others as you'd be done by. Live and let live. Cause no harm, no injury to person or property. And there is no crime. It's pretty simple stuff. Like, it's inherent. It's inherent because, I mean, people get a little bit, this word here can incite or incite. It goes two ways, always. So, you know, it's kind of like God's law, folks. It's very simple. It's common law. It's common law because this law is common to everybody. Don't kill, don't steal, and don't deceive. This is a wee Bible of mine. I mean, it's common sense. It's common knowledge that you don't do those things. I mean, even children, they get to a certain age of understanding, and they inherently know it. We inherently know these things. Not to lie and cheat and deceive and kill and steal. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff, folks. It's common because it unites us. It's common unity. That is community. That's how that works. And it's common, folks. It's common to every single living human being. It's pretty simple stuff. Unfortunately, we're being conscripted into these laws here. That's what's happening. We've been conscripted. We've been consigned and conscripted into another set of rules. Actually set. They've got us all on the reset too, haven't they? It's like the religion, the reset. See, means to do again. Okay? And religion is to bind. So religion means to bind again. What does it mean by that? Well, how are we bound again? Because we've been taken out of the realm of commonality and common unity and common sense and common law over into the realm of legal fictions and rules and regulations and acts and statutes. They're actors. They're statutes. They're bills. They're bills, folks. And legislation. Rule, law. This stuff isn't law. Well, law is your an acronym for your land, your air and your water, isn't it? That's your law, your land, your air and the water. There's the real law over there, isn't it? These are just acronyms that I've come up with, but this one's commonly known. Well, again, see, this is a thing. I thought this stuff was commonly known. I thought this was common. I thought that people comprehended this stuff and understand this stuff, but they don't. And I realised, it's easy to fool people, and that's what's going on. And like one of these quotes here from Philip K. Dick I always put on some of the start of my videos. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use the words. And that's what's happening. See, this is all script. It's all a script, folks. This is scripture too. This is your script. That's the real script, is it? The scribes just trying to be right, to be the authors of the right. The authorities, trying to be the authorities and authorize and solidify that stuff in the people's minds and make a false idols as the commonality. See, when things get solidified, that's how that works. It gets solidified. Because they like to advert your eyes. They advert them, don't they? They advert to your eyes. They alter the native. They give you an alternative in their pacification, because we're all from the Pacific, aren't we? But see, this is what's happening. You see, when you start to see these stuff, to me it's become so obvious and that, but I've taken that for granted. Here's me thinking that people can see the stuff. They only have to look at the words, the different definitions of the words, and the duplicity, and sometimes the triicity of the phonics of the language, but it's mind control. People have been fooled. Fool me once, shame on me. George Bush marked that up nicely, didn't he? Fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's how that works, folks. You got to start looking at these things with duplicity. You've got to find your own assurance. Oh, you've got to, yeah. You've got to assure yourself, and that's me. It's me assured. You've got to measure these things for yourself and get into a place of real estate. Realizing the real lies. But see, for me, I thought people could see this. I thought people understood this stuff. Because it's right there in front of your faces. But sometimes, this stuff is subliminal, which means it's below the threshold for comprehension. Comprehension. Understanding. Overstanding. Standing over. Standing up. You can only do that on land, you see. You can only do that on the land. Because that's your real estate, you see, is the land. That makes sense, eh? And you see your tax department, they're a tax department. They're inland revenue. That's how that works. And you're always paying. You're always paying there. And so all the stuff is in that realm here. All the stuff is in the realm of the legalese. The legalese. Not here. This stuff's really simple. It's common. But this other stuff over here, you're going to drown in it. Because it's Admiralty jurisdictional banking law. It's law of money, of commerce. Commerce, mercy. The myrrh of the sea. The commerce of your all. The commercial. The Admiralty, they admire all. They put mire into everything. Those merchants. See, they're merchant. What's a chant? A chant is a sound. Sound is a vibration. Put together with letters and sentences and terms, we get words. Chanting. And we need an organ to do that. And all churches had an organ, didn't they? It's interesting, that. Interesting connection there with the organs in church. And the organs of our body, they're all essential too. Sounds good, doesn't it? That rings true. So they've got us over here into this Admiralty, merchant, banking, commercial law. Into the jurisdiction. Injury over here. Lots of injury over here. The banking. Jews are connected to the banking. See, and it's cons. See, in the moment we're in a place of cons. People talking about all these conspiracies. What is a conspiracy, folks? Because the cons are a bunch of criminals, and piracy is law of the sea, and law of the sea is rape, pillage, and plunder. And so you damn straight it's the conspiracy. In fact, they call it the great conspiracy because they grate you like a block of cheese. That's how that works. And they're cons. There's lots of cons, and they're construct. And they're consent. They garner your consent through lack of your voice, through lack of your chant, through lack of your voice. See, over here, your invoice. Then you can order. And kings order. Kings and queens order. But over here, it's policy. Oh, it's policy over here. No, you've got to submit. They all want you to submit, don't they? You've got to submit your form. Because when they have you in form, you're all information. See, when they want you to fill out their forms. And fill is like ink. You fill something up with ink. You know, ink. You fill out the form with your ink and the pen. Because you're paying. And you think, oh, it's all well and good. And you ink well. See, a well, another vessel with ink. It's the water again. Well come, well done. These are vessels, they're vassals. You are the vessel on the sea that's been salvaged and brought under the jurisdiction of the law of the sea. And the law of the sea, folks, is piracy. It's rape, pillage and plunder. Promulgated by a bunch of cons. And without testing the cons, there's no contest. And thereby there is consent. And it's through the words, and the manipulation of the words, that they get that consent. Through that book there. The book of their law. Filled with legalese. And that's the law of the sea, folks, and it's unfathomable. This stuff is unfathomable. It's colour of law. It's colour of law. It's the hue of man. Is that the hue of man? It comes round. It comes down to how the judge is feeling on the day. Is that what it's come to? Wow. No wonder we're drowning in it. No wonder it is unfathomable. But once you start to learn to decipher and decode and descript all this stuff, and understand that there's keys to the codes, keystone. Once you learn to decipher and descript, you know, hopefully people are starting to comprehend the gravity of the power that is involved in comprehending this form of communication, spelling, and casting spells. It's all casting spells, and it's got us all most of us all hypnotised. But people are waking up to this now. And so, yeah, again, you know, for me taking all this for granted, I thought people knew all this stuff. I thought people understood this and could comprehend it. But no. As Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. But I don't have to convince anybody, because it's right there in front of your faces once you start to spell it out. Hey. Spells that they've got us cast under, and this stuff is magic. And that's why in court the judge is called a magistrate. He's called a magistrate because it's straight out magic. Because he's sitting on a bench representing a bank, because bench is a Latin word that means bank, and he's summoning the dead with his warrant, his warrant to give you arrest and some conviction. And he's got you at the dock. Cross the bar, into the dock. Summons in the person. Summons in the person. You got your purse on you, son? Yeah. You better have your purse on you. Your persona. Your mask. Oh, we're all about masks these days, aren't we? Well, the government's definitely trying to mask everything. And this is all masking. It's all masking in front of your faces. Maybe I should have demask up there as well. There's decipher and design and descript. So once you start comprehending, and I've taken this for a little bit granted after doing this talk tonight, I realise that people have got no idea. Most people have got no idea. Which is a little bit shocking, really. So, yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to work a little bit harder. Well, you guys are. Share me videos and whatnot, how it works, the algorithms and all that stuff. But, oh yeah, I should do, I suppose. But yeah, this is what's happening, folks. You know, we got to get back to this common unity, common law, common understandings. Live and let live. Cause no harm or injury to personal property. It's pretty simple stuff. And that's why, folks, that ignorance of the law is no excuse. Because it's pretty simple stuff. I mean, it's not hard. At most, there's 10 commandments, but you go to any religion, any rebinding, for those that want to be rebound, but their core principles are the same. And it's pretty simple stuff. And that is why ignorance of the law is no excuse. Not that law over here, not legislation, acts, statutes, bills, rules, regulations, permits, permissions, consents. And you've got to submit to all of those, or apply. And the legal definition of apply means to beg. So, I mean, you know, it's not a good place to be getting yourselves into. I wouldn't be dipping your toes into that water if I was you. Because it's unfathomable. and you're going to drown. And that's how that works. And, you know, this stuff's right in front of our faces. And I guess for a wee while I've kind of assumed that people comprehend what's going on, but the eyes to see, eh? The eyes to see. So yeah, so after this talk tonight, there was about 30 odd people there. It was quite good. People's understandings I thought were even the straw man. Right? Most people weren't even aware of the straw man and what that is. The straw man's the legal fiction, the entity created at birth through the birth certificate. And that's why they call your mother and father the parents, because they're only renting you. See, they're the pair that rent you from the government because they've signed over. They become the informant signing over through certifying you, registering you into the jurisdiction of the water. And you've been drowning ever since. Most people. But it's good to see that more and more so far are getting up to scratch and getting their affidavits of life. At least they're getting something on paper. You know, but you've got to really comprehend it, because sovereignty starts in your mind, folks. It starts in your ability to be as king and queen and become the captain of your ship in the quest on as kings. And then you can become the our king. Then you're really a wake king, aren't you? You know, get on the wave, because a wake is a wave. The our king being kings of the wave, kings of the water, captains of our ships. Masters, they call them, in fact, the mast. Becoming the mast of the ship. See, I gather most people comprehend how the vessel... Oh, sorry, what happened then? How through the registration through this process here, registration being defined as a transfer of ownership, transfer the owner of the ship. See, we want to become masters again, chiefs, captains of our ships. The ability to stand on land, that means to walk and be in voice, our talk. Walk our talk. In fact, because that's real. That's the real estate. That's the real state of things. Real estate's solid, ground, gives us standing. We can affirm things, can't we? Foundation, good foundations. Local, common, unity, to get her. Papatuanuku, back on the land. Common unity, community, folks. I'm not so big on the tribe mentality, but generally speaking, your tribe is your vibe. And so we're going to have to get back on the land, folks. And lots of people are operating in fear at the moment, which is unfortunate, because they're buying the lemons that the government's selling them, unfortunately. You know, and that's the buyer beware, caveat emptor. Keep going back to that one, caveat emptor, buyer beware. Beware of those selling fear. Actually, fear is actually a state of selfishness, really, in many respects, if you respect. It's lack of faith and comprehension of what and who we are as kings and queens and masters. Douglas Williams said, our actions and our words are our choices. These choices determine our lives. And they do. Like once you start to comprehend this conveyance of information within words, then you can garner a lot greater comprehension about the people around you and the words that they're using, and see how enamored into the system, into the duplicity. The English language is duplicit by its nature. It's designed that way, folks. Division is built within it. See, these are truths to me. These are my truths. I've researched these things and I've looked into these things, and I'm expressing my truths as I see it. That's all I can do. But because I've been so immersed in this stuff for so long, I guess I've kind of taken it for granted that other people comprehend this, but they don't. And as I started my kōrero earlier on, it's about what I thought was common, foundational commonalities, foundational basic, there's basic stuff. Don't kill, don't steal, don't deceive. It's pretty simple stuff. But I guess people need reminding. Remember, to do again. Mind is meant. Govern, gubernare, Latin. Govern, meant, mind control. That's what this stuff is. It's mind control. This stuff is mind control, folks. Make no mistake about it. Because they know how powerful you are. See, they know how powerful you are, and that scares the shit out of them. That scares the shit out of them, folks. They know how powerful we are. They've been trying to condemn us for a long time. They call us revolting, don't they? Don't they call us revolting? Hey, when we're not following the narrative. Oh no, we're hate speeches. Oh, hate speech. Well, anything that the government doesn't like is called hate speech in their view. So these are slippery slopes. But in all honesty, they've told us exactly what they're doing, folks, through the words. Because, they tell you you're a ward of state, don't you? Ship of state, the ward of state, because you're all on board. You're enlisted. Menu. Seamen. They've got you all on board. Your vessels, ships at sea. Ships that they call she because she carries the goods. That's the cargo that carries the goods. And that's why they denigrate the feminine. It's Miss Smith, is it? Just miss them right out. That's what they do. And this is what I'm saying. Once you start to analyse, that means anal, it's arsehole, and, be an arsehole about your eyes and start looking at things directly, calling a spade, and start seeing what's actually really there in front of your face, and what's current. And then you see the currency. What's the local currency, folks? Oh, it's a wake. It's a wave. It's a wave as you're out on the seas and you sail by. So we go out on sail. Let's see, that one's gone. But so I guess I'm going to have to work a little bit harder and push it out there a bit more. More people need to comprehend what's going on, how they're getting conscripted. And the contractions, you ask any mother about contractions and she'll tell you that they're painful. The contracts, folks. Contractions. And then the con's done, isn't it? Because you condone. They've conned one. Condone is to con one. Once you start looking at the words, start breaking them up and start deciphering them, you'll start to realise exactly what's going on. And so this is how they're able to dupe the majority of people, I guess. It's through the spells. Because I've been so immersed in this stuff for so long, I've taken it for granted that people comprehend this stuff. But in fact, they don't. They've forgotten. People have forgotten their true power. Look at the ways they're trying to, look at the different levels of, look at the many different levels of ways that they're trying to poison and kill us and bring us down and destroy us and damage us, impede us, obstruct us, subjugate us. That's how powerful we are, because we're still here and we ain't going away in a hurry. Actually, well, we're only just beginning. There's no beginning and no end, but that's a limitation of our own abilities to comprehend or not. So yeah, so I kind of apologise for that to a lot of folks out there, but because I took it for granted that people understood a lot of this stuff. But it seems they don't. And we need to do something about that. So if you guys out there can, actually, what have we got here? Hey Tunisia, how you doing? Okay, Simon, shoot. Hey, love you, brother. Keep writing, bro. Jason James, you sound very sovereign. Well done. Good mahi, my friend. Oh, thanks for that, Jace. Appreciate it. Yeah, well, it's kind of get to a place where it's you're duty bound almost. Because when you see wrongs, see, part of being sovereign and part of being real and part of comprehending what it is we are is to know that it's bigger than you and bigger than me, and it's about all of us working together. There's no I in team, as they say. But yeah, we're stronger together. We're stronger together, but we've got to be individuals. We've got to be individuals. Here we go. I'll go over here. I'll turn that around. We've got to be individuals. I won't have to change pens. But we've got to grow up, folks. We want to be individuals. We all want to be individuals and sovereign. Oh, I'm sovereign. I'm the authority. Da, 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 da. I'm the author of my writs, my rights. I'm just trying to get the pen off here. But what we've got to do here, folks, is, you know, you want to be an individual, but you've got to grow up. You've got to grow up a wee bit and realise and take responsibility. Realise and then take responsibility. And that's the ability to be able to respond. And to do that, we've got to be informed. We've got to have information. And we've got to be united. And it's got to be common information and common unity. That's the only way forward, folks. It's the only way forward. The only way out is in. If you don't go within, you'll go without. But it's actually already a one game in actual factual. Because all the facade of the bullshit and the veils of deception are dissolving. And that's a beautiful thing. And we're all on board for that. It's just a pretty good thing. So yeah. So I'm going to try and work a little bit harder. So I'm doing another couple of talks in the next... I was actually meant to record the talk tonight and I forgot about it. I even charged my phone up and everything for it. So hence why I'm doing it live now, actually. Because I was planning on doing something, but yeah, I just forgot about it because things go as they do. But anyway, so this is how powerful we are though, folks. We're extremely powerful. You know, and all these different ways that they're trying to poison us and impede us, it's unstoppable because, you know, it's common unity. We're united in one, and that one is bigger. That one is, see, one being Neo in the Matrix, one is a node. One is a node. Because it's one. Oh, you haven't got that, sorry. Oh, you're looking at me. Sorry. I'll spin you around. Because one, see, one, Neo, a node. When we're one, we've won. And that's now, which is in the now, which is the knowledge, and then we know, don't we? Then we know. And it's a lesson. I've explained this stuff to people before, but it's a lesson because I'm putting less on. How are you putting less on, Norm? Oh, well, I'm putting less on because I'm giving you more information, and that clears the path of all the clutter that you couldn't see through before. So you're a little bit higher on your ability to be able to see, to navigate these unfathomable waters. You know, get on a walker. You know, get together, folks. Get together. Because we've already won. We've already won. You know, the facade is falling apart. People are starting to open their eyes and realise. But yeah, but this stuff, and so this stuff is really important. Like, people know about 9/11, JFK, this COVID crap, of course, the conspiracy of the COVID crap. You know, people know about this, but the words, folks, the words are extremely powerful. The words control. Until you take control of the words and start comprehending how powerful they are. That's why I love your stuff, brother. Simon, love it. You know, we are the creators. We are. It's a beautiful thing. It's an unstoppable thing, folks. But we've got to get back to this common unity, and we've got to comprehend a bit of common sense. Hey, a bit of common sense. Not these cents over here, not the dollars and cents. It's all that dollars and cents bullshit that's getting us into the dirty water. It's all that stuff over here. All that legislation, the rules, the regulations, the legalese, the legal fictions, the corporations. Your vessel out on the sea that's being salvaged, being raped, pillaged and plundered. That's what's going on there. So we've got to get back over here, the land of the living, back on the land, grow some veggies, get a few books, do a bit of reading, expand yourself. See, that's part of your duty as well, folks. You know, you have a duty. If you've got anyone that you care about in the world, you've got a duty to be able to keep them safe. Or if you've got people that are depending on you, you know, when you're in the deep end, you got people depending on you, then you've got to be responsible. And part of being responsible is part of being informed and upskilling and raising. And raise, beautiful word, raise. Because then we can lighten up things, you know, we raise ourselves. Raise the rays of the sun. And then we have a bit of a bright spark, don't we? Oh, you know, he's a bright spark. Oh, a bright idea. You might get a bright idea. Hey. That's how that works. And then you get an enlightenment, don't you, when you have a bright idea. This is all internal stuff, of course. Bright ideas in a dark room, because our brains are in a dark house. Skullduggery going on there, I think. There's a bit of skullduggery going on there. But anyway, bright ideas, enlightenment. That gives us enlightenment, doesn't it? Enlightenment's power. Then we can see. Oh, the light goes on. Oh, now I can see what you mean. Oh, you mean? See, another way that they denigrate our words is they give them all meaning. They're all mean. If you like something, you're liking it, aren't you? If you hate something, you're hating it. What are you doing when you're meaning? What do you mean? Oh, I didn't mean that. See what I mean? That's how that works, folks. But once you can comprehend or see what's going on here, then you can dispel them. You can dispel them. And therefore you take away their power. But not only that, you can start taking that power to yourself. You can start raising your comprehension and your manner or mana, the manner, the way you present yourself. Because only you can present yourself in the present, and that's a present, folks. It is a present. That's why it's called a gift. It's a present in the present, presently. It's called a gift because that's an acronym for the gamete intrafallopian tube, which means birth. Birth, part of earth. There's earth in there. You've got the earth of the birth, the B-earth, the birth. They took right up with the B, B-E-R-T-H, or B-I-R-T-H. That's how I do that. That gives us your breath. And all these other beautiful words. Because it's all code. It's all cipher. Sigils, ciphers. Actually, I picked up a good book the other day. Actually, I'm going to show you my book. I did pick up this good book the other day, man. She's a beauty. I'll wrap with this. I'll put that here. It's called The Art and Craft of Sign Writing. See, sign. Now, this is what I explain to these people tonight. See, when you sign something, folks, see, sign is S-I-G-N, okay? But the G is silent, isn't it? So it's a sin. It's a sin. That's how we're all sinners. Because we're signing shit. We're sinning. And that's in nature. That's our nature. And so we become a signatory to something by the sign, by the nature of our sign. We become a signatory. If you're a signatory, then you're surety. Oh, that's where you get your surname from. It's not S-I-R. Oh, yes, sir. No, sir. Now, some people have this acronym here, that's slave I remain. Apparently it comes from India, and they got the Indians to call the British sir. That also is an acronym for slave I remain. But see, I could reposit that and go sovereign and right. I'm a sovereign and right. But anyway, so we can start turning this shit around, folks. So through the nature of your sign, you become a surety. And like in the old days, like you would sign on the line, so that would infer that you're above board and know what's going on, and you would sign with an X, a cross, a mark. That would be your the autograph, actually. But through calling it a signature, again pulls it into the Admiralty jurisdictional legalese constructs, okay? So we autograph things, autonomy, and graph, everything's a graph, isn't it? It's like, you know, whatever it is, it's a graph. Sine waves. These are sine waves, folks. It's a sine wave. The sine wave, that's the sine wave there. And that's from the, where are we? It's from the alpha, excuse me, to the beta. The alpha, beta. The alphabet. Ah, that's the alphabet. The alpha, the beta. So we become a signatory through the signs. And signs and sigils. Some of this information, man, it's mind-blowing. I love it. And so, you know, back in the days where you had these, this is a craft too. It's an art and a craft, folks, of signatory writing. And so in these, it's exactly like words, folks. Like these individual characters, these individual sigils have all sorts of other meanings within the construct of the one form. So all these individual forms can have greater, much greater levels of communication once you understand how to decode them. Once you learn to understand the codes, you can decode. And it's an art and a craft, folks. Just like Freemasonry is a craft. Very crafty. And so all these coats of arms of trade companies, folks. The arms of trade companies. And so these are all relaying information about the society, the esquires or the guild, guilds, squires, societies. These are all conveying information on different levels when one comprehends the art and the craft that it is. Fascinating, fascinating stuff. So really, this is why you can't underestimate the power of the pen, because that's the spelling. It's the spelling that's cast out. And we get caught into the construct of all this through the pen, because we put our sign, we put our mark on things, we signature things all the time. We need to start autographing stuff if you're going to put, because this is extremely powerful, folks. The pen is mightier than the sword. Why is the pen mightier than the sword, you say? For two reasons, actually. The pen the pen turns stationary, which is paper. Paper is stationary. It's called stationary because it doesn't move, you see. It doesn't move until you put pen to it. So it gives stuff motion. A pen creates motion. Now also a pen is a place where you're locked up in. It's a jail, folks. A pen will contract you into jail. A pen is a cell. You see? And this is all about you, because you are the vassal, the pen, the cell, because we're made of blood, and blood's red, and so are words. Words are red, folks. That's right. You see? That's right. It's red, the pen. It kind of flicks your mind round a wee bit. It kind of makes you think, what's going on there? There's something going on there. But that's how it works. It gets you into a state of wait a minute, of confusing. See, they fuse the con. Another word that again, they're telling you what they're doing. Again, this is the other thing, folks. They've got to tell you what they're doing to you. And they do. And it's very, very obvious. It's very, very extremely obvious to me. But again, this is to say probably because I've immersed myself in this stuff for years. I mean, I've been looking into law and religion and all this stuff, and words and linguistics and codes and iconography and secret doctrine codes, and I've been looking into this stuff for a wee while. But all this stuff, I mean, and all these law books, you know, they're beautiful books, old books. These are old case law books, man. You can't get this stuff anymore. But anyway, and then there's all those books. But, you know, all those books can get you all more confused over here. That's why it can be unfathomable. That's why you need a lawyer. Well, they advise you to get a lawyer to represent you. I already explained how you can't be represented. But, you know, information, folks, information is extremely powerful. Make no mistake about it. But you've got to be discerning about it. You've got to be discerning about the information that you're receiving and learn to look at it twice. And that means respect, because again, re is to do again and spect is to look, like a spectator or an aspect in the spectrum when you're prospecting. You see how that works? That's how that works. So you've got to respect, meaning look twice at the design, descript and decipher the words, because they're wards. The words are wards, which are dens. They're war dens, folks. They're contracts. Words are contracting. When we're, well, let me caveat that by saying when we are operating in this world of legalese, this world of fiction, where you have the persona and the caricature, because you're a character, you've got a character and a persona. Persona is a mask, folks. That's what it means, mask. Of course they want you to put your mask on. They want you to get your person on so they can rape, pillage and plunder you, salvage you. And that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And they've told you what they're doing. And so, you know, we have a responsibility. We have the ability to respond to these things. We have the ability to be able to respond. And we do that by raising our own abilities. And this idea, folks, this idea of comparing yourself to others has to be dismissed immediately. There's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be someone not as good as you. You must compare yourselves to your yesterday. And if you've learned something, or you've helped someone, or you've done something positive for yourself, then you've grown. And so you compare yourself to yesterday. And that way, you will always be moving forward, folks. And we want our vessels to be moving forward, okay? We don't want to be caught up into this admiralty, jurisdictional, banking, commercial law. We want to be masters of our vessels on the high seas, if you like, and awaking as the our kings. And that's how we raise ourselves. We raise ourselves through questioning and being as kings. And that's how we roll. And so, that's pretty much it, really, I think. I might just wrap it up there. So go and check out my YouTube channel. I'll actually flick the link down. I'll flick the link down below for my YouTube channel. So go over there and give us a like and a subscribe. Yeah, I'm doing another talk next Tuesday night as well. I might try and remember to get that one recorded. So, because it helps people who are maybe just dipping their toes in the water of this stuff. And, I mean, it can be overwhelming. You can be, you know, drowning in this stuff. Excuse the pun. Not at all. So, yeah, take your time, move at your own speed. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to yourself yesterday, and you'll always be moving forward, and you'll always be improving. In whatever aspect, as the little prospectors of gold you are out there. Because when we're out there prospecting, we're miners. We're mining the ore, and then we're in ore. And the ore is the gold, and the gold is the kin. The gold is the kin, is the kind, is the kindle in man. And then we're as king and being. So yeah, love and light to you all. Keep raising your consciousness, keep helping others, do the best you can, and compare yourself to yourself yesterday. And let's get back to some common law, and some common sense. And then we win. Well, we already do win. But anyway, okay guys, catch you next time. See ya.